My fellow patriots, this is Tom Zawistowski, president of the We the People Convention, and I'm recording this video today on June 9th, 2025, to bring to your attention the seriousness of what is currently happening in our country. I said in my podcast this past Saturday that we live in such a sea of lies that we don't even know 90% of what the hell is actually going on. And it is time for us to have clear eyes to see what is really going on. And I don't think we're seeing what's going on in LA and across the country clearly. And it's important that you see it clearly and then that you take action, because this is extremely significant. So let me put this in context, because again, we talked at our podcast last week about perspective. The bottom line is what is going on in LA and around the country has nothing to do with deporting illegal immigrants. This is the start of a civil war. This has been planned for decades. This is funded by the communist Chinese. This is serious enough that you should be expecting President Trump to use every means possible, including all military options, to crush this rebellion, just as Abraham Lincoln had to do during the Civil War, where he arrested the governor of Ohio. He threatened to arrest the Supreme Court justices. He suspended habeas corpus, right? Why? Because the nation was in danger. Its survival was in doubt. What I need you to start screaming and talking to everyone you know is that this is not about deporting illegals. How do we know that? Well, you remember back in 2016 when Trump, surprised Hillary Clinton, who they were going to inaugurate to do what? To usher in socialism. Remember, she was a Democrat socialist. And she and Bill took millions from the communist Chinese. And so has Barack Obama, and so has Joe Biden, and so has Mitch McConnell, and everyone else in our politics. This is a plan by the communist Chinese to destroy America. Now, in 2016, we surprised them. What did they do? They completely undermined the Trump administration. And then, to make sure he didn't win re-election, what did they do? They put together an army, Antifa and BLM. Oh, we're burning these cities down because George Floyd was murdered by a policeman. No, that wasn't why they did it. They did it to destroy President Trump's presidency and to make sure he didn't win. And how do we know that? Well, after they stole the election, what did we see? We saw news stories that said if they didn't succeed in stealing the election in 2020, what you're seeing today was going to happen. They were going to use force. But then they were able to steal the election. Why? Because they gaslit President Trump and most of the American public, because they still controlled the media then. And they said, oh, President Trump, you'd be a thug, you'd be a dictator if you sent National Guard to keep Minneapolis from burning to the ground, or Columbus, or any other city. And he didn't do it. They still burned him to the ground. Why? Because it undermined his presidency as much as COVID did. So then they were able to steal the election and install what? A communist government. What were they doing? J6ers, Trump supporters, Christians are domestic terrorists, and we're going to hunt you down and throw you in prison for years without any due process, without a change of venue, without using laws that aren't even meant for that the Supreme Court had to overturn. We're going to go after Mike Flynn and Steve Bannon and Navarro and all the rest of them. That ain't communism? You and I know we fought like hell because we knew if we did not win in 2024, our nation would be lost. So what did they do? Well, they imported 12 million people to create an army to destroy our country. That's what they did. They tell you, this is just, we believe in open borders. They are communists. They believe in the destruction of the United States. They have to destroy us or they cannot rule the world. So plan A was, we'll import all these illegals into red states, register them to vote, and try like heck to basically steal the 2024 election. And we, through our hard work and efforts, stopped that. That was just plan A. What was plan B? Plan B was, if we didn't steal the election, and if Trump now is in power and could wipe us out, we have to go the next step, and that is create a revolution. This is the insurrection. What you're seeing in Los Angeles, in New York, in these cities where the lefties are talking about, they have a right to be here. It's all smoke and mirrors. Don't believe any of it. The goal is to destroy the United States. They're starting a civil war. And guess what? Of those 12 million people, remember the 30 to 40,000 military-aged Chinese who just came in, and we don't know where they are. We didn't even know what questions to ask them, the Biden people told us, right? The communists who were letting the communists in. What do you think they're going to do now? You think they're not going to poison your water, blow up power plants, attack our airports or highways or something? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm asking you, this is a call to action. You need to today message President Trump at whitehouse.gov and say, we demand that you use every military force necessary to crush this, to arrest Gavin Newsom and Maxine Waters and Cory Booker and all the other communist sycophants. They are trying to destroy your country, and they're using the commie psychology of saying, well, Trump's the dictator. If he arrests these illegals, who has every right to arrest, he's coming for you next. Gavin Newsom said, Tom Homan, come and arrest me. Yes, we do want him to be arrested. These are traitors. They're traitors. They're violating U.S. federal immigration law on purpose to overthrow our nation. Ladies and gentlemen, there's 425,000 National Guardsmen. There's 12 million illegals here that is their army to destroy us. And the president of Mexico is saying over the weekend, we want you to resist. We want you to fight. Those are my people. What are they doing in our country if they're her people? And how foolish do these judges, these lefty commie judges look, who said Trump can't use the Alien Immigration Act to deport these people because this isn't an invasion, Alien Invasion Act. Yeah, as you see, all kinds of people waving Mexican flags atop of burning police cars saying, oh yeah, we love Mexico, but how dare you throw us out and send us back to Mexico that we supposedly love? If that's not an invasion, what is it? Ladies and gentlemen, you need to be prepared. You need to talk to your congressmen, your senators, and House representatives, and your state officials, and make clear to them, this isn't 2020. We're not gaslit now. We understand what's really going on here, and we want you to use all the force necessary, including martial law, to stop this right now. Arrest them all and deport them. President Trump needs to just suspend habeas corpus and tell the courts to go to hell. We need to arrest the judges. As Bongino used to say, cutesy time is over. They are serious. They want to kill us. They're trying to steal our nation. And it's not a TV show. And you can't treat it like it's a TV show. You've got to get ready for war. Because we are at war right now, today, on June 9th, 2025, with communist China, which has successfully infiltrated our nation with millions of their military forces. Okay? Is this clear? Can you talk to your friends, family? Can you call in the radio shows? Can you write to influencers and say, wake up, be ready? Because when Donald Trump acts and they're going to call him a dictator, you got to say, that's right. Just like Abraham Lincoln, he must do whatever it takes. You can't get gaslit. You can't be a coward. No mercy. They're trying to kill us. I just did a story in the podcast about them trying to poison our food. Wake up, and wake up everyone around you. This is serious. And here's the deal, kids. It's real simple. They're going to do this to try to stop the Trump domestic agenda. They're going to try to stop the Senate from passing the big, beautiful bill. Because why? It defunds them. It stops the communist takeover of the United States. And then Lindsey Graham and Blumenthal and the other commies in the House and Senate are trying to keep the wars going to bankrupt us. Remember George Bush Sr. or George Bush Jr., George W.? He had a whole domestic plan to make America better. And then 9/11 happened and his presidency was destroyed. Do you understand? This is what they're doing now. They're going to destroy the Trump presidency from within and from without. They want him to attack Iran. They want China to attack Taiwan. They want war. The way to stop war is what? Peace through strength. What does that mean? That means you crush these sons of bitches in the streets and round them up by the thousands and deport them, and it doesn't matter what the hell some lefty court says. And you make it clear to China that if you invade Taiwan, we will nuke you. Mutually assured destruction needs to come back. Peace through strength means showing strength. Get on your knees and pray to God that we can have the strength and the courage to act as our forefathers did after just celebrating the anniversary of D-Day last week. You should be scared to death. You should be angry. You should be ready to fight with all your might, with all you've got. If I have to volunteer to go fight these people, I, Tom Zawistowski, will do it. Because we have to, or we're done as a nation. They're trying to extinguish the West. And this isn't about illegals and deportation. This has been a 50-year plan. And they almost had us last November, and we escaped their trap. And now they're just going all in because it's now or never for them, and it's now or never for us. I hope you found this message useful. I hope you will share it everywhere, on every social media, in every email. Text it to people, family and friends, because we have to wake up right now because we are at war. There's a civil war going on right now, and we've got to win it. And Donald Trump needs all of our support to do so. May God bless you. God bless President Trump, and God bless America. We'll talk to you soon.